Authorities in Western Australia say they have found a tiny radioactive capsule which went missing last month. The capsule was found when a vehicle equipped with specialist equipment detected radiation, officials said. A huge search was triggered when the object was lost while being transported along a 1,400-kilometer route across the state. Authorities released a close up picture of the pea sized capsule, which could cause serious harm if handled on the ground among tiny pebbles. It contains a small amount of cesium 137, which could cause skin damage, burns, or radiation sickness. Mining giant Rio Tinto apologized for losing the device, which is used as a density gauge in the mining industry. It will be stored at a secured location in the town of Newman overnight before being transported to a secured facility in the city of Perth on Thursday. The 75th anniversary of the martyrdom of Mahatma Gandhi was observed at Gandhi Ashram in Noakhali and Jalampur in Bangladesh on Monday, 13th January. High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, visited the Gandhi Ashram at Noakhali and paid rich tributes to Gandhiji on his 75th death anniversary. The High Commissioner also participated in the discussion on the relevance of Mahatma Gandhi in the contemporary world organized by the Gandhi Ashram Trust. Members of the trust, local political leaders, representatives of local administration, as well as civil society and academia joined the interaction. Highlighting Gandhiji's philosophy of truth, humanism, and nonviolence, the High Commissioner said that these values show us the path to deal with today's global menace of extremism and terrorism. He also emphasized Gandhiji's belief in harmony with nature, his determination for the empowerment of the poorest, and his message of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam that inspires the motto of One Earth, One Family, One Future, adopted by India for its G20 presidency. A discussion and prize distribution for quiz program among children was organized at Jalampur Gandhi Ashram. Jalampur Local Government Department Deputy Secretary was the chief guest on the occasion. Recently, NASA's Juno spacecraft experienced a glitch that caused it to lose over 200 images taken during a Jupiter flyby. Juno is an acronym for Jupiter Near Polar Orbiter. It was launched in 2011. The Juno spacecraft initially embarked on a 5-year journey to the largest planet in our solar system. Towards the end of its primary mission, the spacecraft's objectives evolved and it transitioned into a full Jupiter system explorer with flybys of Jovian moons. Understanding the origin and evolution of Jupiter, look for a solid planetary core, map the magnetic field, measure water and ammonia in the deep atmosphere, and observe auroras. Jupiter, a gas giant planet covered in thick red, brown, yellow, and white clouds, boasts a diameter of about 89,000 miles. Interior models based on Juno data indicated Jupiter has a large diluted core representing about 5 to 15% of planet's mass, comprised of rocky and icy material unexpectedly mixed with light elements like hydrogen and helium. It has 3 moons. According to a report published by Refugees International, shrinking natural resources due to adverse weather are raising tensions across communities and displacing people of the Lake Chad region. Lake Chad is located in Sahel, the vast semi-arid region south of the Sahara Desert. It is bordered by 4 countries: Chad, Cameroon, Niger, and Nigeria. The source of the lake is fed mainly by the Chari River through the lagoon tributary. The lagoon tributary used to provide 90% of its water. The lake is vital for indigenous, pastoral, and farming communities in these countries. The lake has been supporting drinking water, irrigation, fishing, livestock, and economic activities for over 30 million people in the region. Chad Basin is West and Central Africa, covers 8% of African continent and is home to 42 million people. The Lake Chad has shrunk by 90% in 60 years, and climate change is a significant contributor. A 13-year insurgency group and other militant groups has destabilized the Lake Chad basin and the wider Sahel region. The military government of Myanmar has announced stringent new laws for the registration of political parties for the general election in the country. The State Administration Council of Myanmar put out new laws on Thursday, which require political parties to recruit at least 1 lakh members within 90 days of their registration. However, the political parties contesting in a single region need to recruit 1,000 members within 3 months. The political parties carrying out activities across the entire country are required to open offices in at least half of the 330 townships of Myanmar within the period of 6 months. Additionally, they must deposit 100 million CADs with the state owned banks as registration money. The new law makes it mandatory for political parties to register within 60 days. In case they fail to register within the stipulated time frame, they will stand dissolved and they won't be allowed to participate in the general elections. The newly announced political parties registration law of Myanmar also revives an old provision which does not allow any convicted individuals or persons having affiliation with entities designated as unlawful associations to be a member of the party. Former State Counsel Aung San Suu Kyi is serving an extended jail term after being convicted of several charges by the military government. A number of leaders belonging to Suu Kyi's party, National League for Democracy, are part of government in exile named National Unity Government, which has been declared an unlawful organization by the military government headed by the general. NLD has announced that it will not re-register with the election commission formed by the military government headed by a military official. Recent World Health Organization reports said that neglected tropical diseases (NTD) continue to disproportionately impact the most impoverished members of the international community. Neglected tropical diseases are a diverse group of tropical infections which are common in low income populations in developing regions of Africa, Asia, and America. They are caused by a variety of pathogens such as virus, bacteria, protozoa, and parasitic worms. There are a diverse group of 20 diseases that are affecting more than 1 billion people who live in impoverished communities. They include Buruli ulcer, Chagas dengue, chikungunya, foodborne trematodes, leprosy, lymphatic filariasis, mycetoma, etc. WHO's new roadmaps for 2021 to 2030 calls for 3 strategic shifts to end NTDs, from measuring progress to measuring impact, from disease specific planning and programming to collaborative work across sectors, from externally driven agendas reliant on programs that are country owned and country financed. Recently, OPCW blamed the Syrian government for 2018 chlorine gas attack in Douma. It is the implementing body of the Chemical Weapons Convention (CWC). to implement the provisions of the Chemical Weapons Convention in order to achieve OPCW's vision of a world that is free of chemical weapons and of the threat of their use, and in which cooperation in chemistry for peaceful purposes for all is fostered. Its headquarters are located in Hague, Netherlands. The OPCW receives states parties' declarations detailing chemical weapons related activities or materials and relevant industrial activities. OPCW is authorized to perform inspections to verify that signatory states are complying with the convention. It also performs testing of sites and victims of suspected chemical weapons attacks. OPCW reports on its inspections and other activities to the UN through the Office of Secretary General. The OPCW was awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 2013. It is a multilateral treaty that bans chemical weapons and requires their destruction within a specified period of time. It entered into force on April 29, 1997. The CWC requires states parties to declare in writing to the OPCW their chemical weapons stockpiles, chemical weapons production facilities, relevant chemical industry facilities, and other weapons related information. The CWC is open to all nations and currently has 193 states parties. Sri Lankans will celebrate the 75th anniversary of independence on 4th of February. The security forces and the police have commenced rehearsals for the Independence Day parade since Saturday at the Galley Face Green. In line with President Ranil Vikramesingh's instructions, the ceremony will be held with the usual pomp and pageantry, but at a minimal cost. In addition, a special religious program will be held at the sacred temple of the Tooth Relic in Kandy. Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe told Parliament last week that if the occasion is not celebrated, it will have a negative impact. He added that the expenditure will be cut down and kept at a minimum. The island nation has been in the midst of its worst ever economic crisis since its independence in 1948. Sri Lanka has been making efforts to obtain a bailout from the International Monetary Fund. So far, India has been the only creditor to have given financial assurance to IMF, which are a requirement for funding from the global lender. India also extended generous assistance of $4 billion last year to help Sri Lanka stay afloat. Sri Lanka has identified sites linked to Ramayana, which will be used to promote tourism targeting India. An official from Sri Lankan Tourism Promotion, Jeevana Fernando, told the agency that 50 sites linked to Ramayana have been identified to promote tourism on the island from India. He added that the island nation is diverse and has many locations which could attract pilgrims from India and also from other countries. He said that during the last few years, Sri Lanka held several promotions in India for Ramayana tourism. Mr. Fernando added that most Indians visit Sri Lanka for leisure travel and visit at least one Ramayana site in Sri Lanka. In 2022, Sri Lanka welcomed close to 7.2 lakh tourists. India was the top generating market with 1.23 lakh visitors visiting the island. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and his US counterpart Jake Sullivan formally launched the US India Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology ICET in Washington. The United States and India concluded the US India ICET meeting and also decided to launch a new innovation bridge. The Indian Embassy in US said in a tweet that the ICET announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Biden. It reflects India-US Convention of Strategic, Commercial and Scientific Approaches in the field of technology. The White House said in a statement that Innovation Bridge will connect both countries' defense startups. It said both countries affirmed that the ways in which technology is designed, developed, governed, and used should be shaped by our shared democratic values and respect for universal human rights. According to the statement, the two sides discussed opportunities for greater cooperation in critical and emerging technologies, co development and co production, and the ways to deepen connectivity across our innovation ecosystem. A recent study by the NCPOR revealed that the Antarctic sea ice reached its lowest level ever recorded in the summer of 2022. National-wide strike underway in France against president's plan to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. Equatorial Guinea appoints Manuela Roca as the first female prime minister. Ukraine and Russia traded almost 200 prisoners of war in a swap announced separately by both sides on Saturday, with the bodies of two British volunteers also being sent back to Ukraine. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken postpones visit to China after alleged Chinese spy balloons entry into American airspace.